Hello everybody, this is Tim here again, here with another video. Now if you watched my previous Stephen King video, I was going to do all the Nightmares and Dreamscapes episodes of Stephen King's TV show in separate videos, but I figured I'd go ahead and do them all just in one video. Yes, I have this habit of wanting to do separate videos for stuff, and then just ending up doing it all together in one video. But the reason I decided to do this time was simply because I've got a lot of new movies I got to watch for reviews. And probably one I'm probably going to watch tonight and upload it, the new reboot of Puppet Master, and I just really honestly don't have the time to watch all these and do separate videos with all of them. So I've seen them all, I've watched them all, I just figured I'd do them all in one video. I have the collection. I was going to show it on camera, but I accidentally left it back at my house and I didn't bring it with me to the place where I'm going to be doing this video, so I'm not going to be able to show it off, but it's a good set. I recommend buying it. You can get it on Amazon pretty cheap. So, without further ado, yes, another rare occasion where I have notes, because I wanted to make sure I got the information, titles correct for the episodes. Let's see. Battleground. Episode 1 of Nightmares and Dreamscapes. Best episode by far of the series. There's only 8 episodes, so it's pretty much kind of like a mini-series. So the first episode is great. I'd obviously give it 4 out of 4. If you're new to my channel, obviously 1 star or below is pretty much crap. And like a rare 0 stars that I give something usually means it's like an abomination. So if I give something a 0 star, you should probably steer clear. Now, 2 stars usually stands for okay, to like a low 2 stars can be passable. 3 is good, and 4 is of course great. For Battleground, I thought it was great. I'd give it 4 out of 4. I think it's a great episode. They do a really good job of extending the short story, but keeping it to where it doesn't feel like it's overlong. Pretty much you got William Hurt in this, who's a great actor. He was also in Dark City and a couple other movies. He does a great job here, and he never actually says a word. There's no dialogue in this episode. None. And he never speaks, and he plays a hitman who kills this toy company guy. He's like been hired by a rival company, kills him and takes like a souvenir from the place, and he keeps getting paranoid that like toys, random toys are like, looking at him and stuff. And he gets back to his apartment complex, and then he gets sent these army men, and of course they come to life, and it's him versus the army men. It's just a really fun episode. Some of the CGI is a little dated, is dated. But the practical effects, most of the army men are 99% practical, and they look really good. And just like, the ending of this episode is hilarious. You get to the end, you find out after he's killed all the army men that there was also a bonus commando figure that like attacks him, but he manages to kill it in the elevator, and it literally has like a bomb pack on it, kind of like Predator, and blows up. Really hilarious ending. Just great fun. I recommend it. Like William Hurt like opens up a can of ass whoop on these things and just like shoots the hell out of them with his minigun. It's just really funny. Now, episode 2, Crouch End, starring Claire Filani. This episode, people are really mixed on it. People either hate this episode or like it. I've seen very few in between for this one. Personally, I'd give it 3 out of 4. I found it to be a good episode, and I will say why. This episode has bigger problems than Battleground. Well, right off the bat, the special effects are worse because they try to overreach their budget, unlike Battleground, which kind of knew what it was doing. Here, they overreach, and when it does come to the big CGI creatures, it doesn't really work. Now, why I like this episode is for the vibe, the tone. Stephen King is a big H.P. Lovecraft fan, so am I. This episode is pretty much about this like little thin spot in the universe that takes you to an alternate universe, a la in the H.P. Lovecraft place. And these 2 people go into it, and they get weirded out by all these crazy creatures, pretty much kind of like a mini version of In the Mouth of Madness by John Carpenter, which was also influenced by H.P. Lovecraft. They just get into, they see all this weird stuff, but when it comes to like the CGI and stuff like that in it, it's not very good. It's not. But the tone works really well for this episode for capturing H.P. Lovecraft. That's why I like it and enjoy it. All in all, it's a good episode for me personally because I can appreciate the tone, so I can overlook the problems. But if you don't like this episode, I can understand why. Now, Umney's Last Case, episode 3, I'd give it, once again, 3 out of 4. Umney's Last Case is better acted than Crouch End, but as a whole, I was less satisfied by the ending of it. As a whole, it is a better episode than Crouch End, but I don't find it as satisfying because it has more potential than Crouch's End. Pretty much with Umney's Last Case, you got William H. Macy as a writer. His kid dies from drowning, I believe, in a pool. and he's secluded from his wife. He doesn't want to take responsibility for anything. He doesn't want to help his wife grieve or anything. He just kind of wants to get the hell out of Dodge. He figures out a way to swap places with his literary character, who's also played by William H. Macy, in like this 1940s New York or whatever type detective place. He swaps places with him, and once he does, it's kind of like, the grass isn't really greener on the other side. He tries to evade all his problems by switching places with his make-believe character, goes into his world, and he gets there and he's like, I'm actually not very good at being a detective. And of course, in the real world, the alternate version of himself from the books is horrible at being, a husband, has no comfort for the guy's wife, and she just goes to commit suicide because her husband's gone and she has nothing now. And of course, William H. Macy in the books realizes that he's messed up and everything's what the hell in a handbasket. And then it just kind of ends after all this build-up with the Omni character from the books saying that he's going to learn writing now and go and take revenge on the author and figure out how to get back into his world. So it just kind of ends. It's just like it stops. This episode, honestly, has potential to work as a movie. This could be a movie. And I feel like it would work better. There's just no real resolution here. And I've heard that there's resolution in the book, or at least it plays better in the book as a short story. And I can see that. Here, it just felt like they just didn't know what to do for the end, and they just kind of like the story just stopped. Like it just literally stopped. End of the whole mess, episode 4. I'd give this 4 out of 4. I actually had a great time with this one. It's not as good as Battleground, but I liked it better than Crouch End and Omni's Last Case. Pretty much, this has the dude from E.T., played the boy in E.T., he's grown up here, and he's a super smart guy, and he creates, like, trying to make a thing to cancel out, like, human aggression or whatever, but it winds up making, like, Alzheimer's, and everybody starts getting Alzheimer's and then dying. It's just really sad, but I just like the way it's set up, because the older brother is, like, video recording himself, explaining everything, about how the world ended. It's just really sad and really, just kind of a cool, sad, depressing episode, really. It really plays well. Now, this Road Virus Heads North, I believe, starring Tom Berenger, is not very good. I don't know what the short story is like, but this one is not very good. It's pretty much about this writer who figures out he's getting cancer, he's got cancer, and he's dying. And he finds this like magical painting, and this dude in it like keeps appearing closer, like in the painting, and pretty much like it's some kind of ghost or whatever, or a deity thing like trapped in the painting that's chasing the guy, and it keeps coming after him. It's pretty much like a metaphor for cancer and how it's like eating him away or whatever. At least that's the way I see it. When you get to the end, he pretty much accepts his fate finally and allows the dude to pretty much kill him. It's just kind of just kind of meh. I'd give it like a low 2, passable, watchable for some neat visuals, but ultimately just felt like a waste of time. Fifth Quarter, starring Jeremy Sisto. I had a great time with this one. I give it 4 out of 4. Pretty much there's this ex-con. He comes home, and his other ex-members of his gang or whatever, or other criminals, are wanting this money that he has hidden. And he's really a good guy, and Jeremy Sisto plays it really well. And Samantha Mathis is here as his girlfriend. She was in like Broken Arrow, and I just love the drama of this episode. This is actually a drama. It's not a horror at all. And the drama plays really well here. Stephen King is really good at drama. I'll honestly say he's probably better at drama than he is horror. But anyway, the drama here plays really well, because you find out that Jeremy Sisto sent his friend there who got up before him to like take care of his wife or whatever. And of course you find out that she ended up sleeping with the guy. But the reason you find out that she did is because she took pity on him and slept with him, because he took care of her husband while he was in jail, and they watched each other's back. And you actually find out they had a sexual relationship too, because he was in jail so long. And when she tells Jeremy Sisto that she knows about it and that she doesn't blame him and she doesn't hold it against him. Just really, really good drama here. And it ends, of course, with him taking out like this main dude who's also after the money. And he has to go back to jail, but they don't really have anything on him, so you get the idea that he'll be out in just like a few weeks or whatever, maybe 1 month. And his wife goes and gets all the money, so his family's taken care of. So it's really a happy ending, really. And I really enjoyed this one. Really good drama. I honestly say this could probably make a movie as well. Now, Autopsy Room 4 stars the dude who played the grown-up Bill in It, the miniseries. I had a great time with this one as well. It's really silly, but it is fun. I had a fun time with it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Pretty much this guy gets bit by a snake, and he goes into, like, they think he's dead, but he's really, like, pretty much in a coma. And the reason the coroners or people can't realize that he is in a coma is because they're too busy, like, messing around with each other. And the ending of the episode is really hilarious because the reason that they realize he is alive is he gets a big heart on, and he wakes up, and it's like a happy ending because he doesn't die. And it's just really weird that he gets to, like, watch, you know, pretty much his own, like, operation on himself almost. So just really cool episode. I know they did this same thing in, like, a Tales from the Crypt episode, and it worked there too. Now this next one is my least favorite. You know they got a hell of a band starring Steven Weber. I like Steven Weber. I liked him in Tales from the Crypt episodes. I liked him in the Shining miniseries. Not a great miniseries, but all right, average. But I enjoyed it for what it was, a new adaptation of the book. And his performance was good, in my opinion, for a miniseries. Now, they got a hell of a band. I hated this. It's not a 0, but I'd give it 1.5. This is my least favorite of the whole miniseries. Mostly because it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't gel. Right off the bat, the plot is a couple gets lost in the woods, and they end up going to this place where all these dead rock and roll stars are still alive, and they're, like, forcing people to watch their concerts for, like, decades or whatever, because time works differently here. And if you try to escape, they'll, like, cut off one of your fingers as punishment or whatever. I just found it kind of lame. It's just really stupid. Like, Steven Weber's character, like, I never understood what the hell was wrong with him. Like, as soon as they get there, he starts acting dumber and dumber. Like, he starts becoming, like, almost possessed acting of this place. And he's like, no, honey, we gotta stay. I gotta see the shows. And, like, when they try to escape, like, there's a bus in their way, and they can't drive by it. But they can honestly just, like, get out, run past the bus, and just get on the road and keep running, just run out of the place. Or, hell, just run, like, around the bus. There's, like, plenty of room they could have, like, got out of there just by running on foot. I would have ran on foot before I would have been forced to stay there. It's just really silly to me that they can't escape. It just doesn't convey it really truly that they can't just get out of there. And the husband starts acting really stupid, like he's entranced or in a trance to stay there. And it's not scary because it's dead rock stars, and it's really silly. You know, like Elvis is there, and obviously it's going to be really ridiculous. But at the same time, I guess we're supposed to believe that the reason she isn't still trying to get out there is because her man is, like, obsessed with the place, and he doesn't want to leave from the looks of it. And I'm like, woman, this dude is off his rocker. Tell him to buy the biggin and just leave yourself. It just ends. I'm like, this is just stupid. It's not scary. It's the only way to play this with this kind of plot would just to be silly with it. But it takes itself seriously, which really doesn't work. It should have been, like, either ridiculously B-movie-ish, or it should have been funny. And it's neither. It just does not work. It's just lame. This episode sucked. The characters just seem so stupid. It's like the woman tries to escape once, and she just gives up because her husband is acting like a nut job and doesn't want to leave. And so they just don't try to escape again. Maybe it's different in the short story. Maybe it's harder for them to get out of there and they don't want to risk it. But this episode, it seemed very easily like they could just escape. I mean, honestly. Like, if there's plenty of room to, like, run past a few weeds or something like that to get by a bus. Just because I can't drive out of there and that's the only thing stopping me. You're not going to friggin' keep me there. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. I would just leave. But that's just me. And I just don't find, like, Elvis Presley or whoever intimidating. I'm like, okay, Elvis is going to try to stop me from leaving, okay? I'm just going to kick your ass and leave, Elvis. But anyway, all in all, this was really lame. So, for the show as a whole, let's see. For the show as a whole, Battleground, really enjoyed. Crouch End, I liked. Unmu's Last Case, I liked. End of the Whole Mess, really enjoyed. Road Virus, passable. Fifth Quarter, great. Autopsy Room 4, great. We know you got a hell of a band, crap. I'd give the whole show probably, let's see, great, good, great, probably give it 3.5 out of 4. What keeps it from getting 4 is that last episode is pretty friggin' terrible. So I'd give it 3.5 out of 4. A pretty good Stephen King show. So I'll see you guys again with the next video.